Hey, this is Dr. Mariza, women's hormone expert, author, and the host of the Essentially You podcast. And today I'm going to be sharing 3 food mistakes that 75% of women are making that lead to stubborn weight gain, fatigue, and even mood swings. Now, I got to ask a question. Do you feel like you are trying everything to boost your energy, to lose the stubborn weight, the belly fat, and even heal your hormones, but you're simply not getting the results that you hoped for? Now, I know that feeling all too well. I literally felt that way for well over a decade. And like me, you could be making one or more of the 3 food mistakes that I'm going to be sharing with you today. Now, I bet you're wondering, how can a few innocent food mistakes literally be the thing that is holding me back? Well, it has everything to do with metabolic flexibility and being in a thermogenic state, right? That fat burning state. And what metabolic flexibility is our ability to move from burning glucose and glycogen, sugar, as fuel to burning more of our stored fat as fuel. And the more metabolically flexible we can be, the more that we can move into that thermogenic state, especially when we're in a state of fasting, like between dinner and breakfast the next day, where we are a thermogenic burning furnace machine. So what I'm going to be sharing today are the 3 mistakes that move us out of that metabolic flexibility that could be hindering our ability to get into that thermogenic state. So without further ado, let's get into mistake number 1. It is all about stopping eating refined carbs and sugar and starches at dinner or at night, especially later in the nighttime. Hands down, one of the most important things that you can do for your metabolism is keep stable blood sugar all day long. I mean, that is the name of the game when it comes to boosting energy, longevity, and most importantly, getting us into that fat burning state. So when we are consuming carbs, especially refined carbs, sugar, alcohol, dessert, well into the evening, that throws off our blood sugar. It causes a blood sugar spike that can impact our sleep, which can absolutely affect our blood sugar and insulin sensitivity the next day. It messes with our overall metabolism. It creates a sluggish liver. And overall, over time, that can lend to insulin resistance, prediabetes, type 2 diabetes, and so many other issues. But the biggest things that we notice is that you wake up super hangry, you've got cravings, and you've got that lagging energy. So what's important here is to be focusing on nutrient-dense foods like healthy fats, protein, fiber sources in the form of vegetables, maybe even berries, nuts, and seeds. But again, focusing on foods that are not going to spike your blood sugar at night. Now, note that we are more insulin resistant at night because it's just the general way that we work in terms of our circadian rhythm. So what I've noticed is that if I can eat earlier, I also see a more steady blood sugar range across the board. So my aim is always to eat before 6:30 p.m. because I've noticed that even when I eat a metabolically healthy meal later in the evening, I still start to see some blood sugar variability that is throwing off my blood sugar and my metabolism overall. So something to be thinking about when it comes to, and if you really want to maintain that blood sugar at night, take a 15 to 30 minute walk after dinner. That will really help to reduce a blood sugar spike by 30 to 50%. And I don't know about you, but that is a game changer for me. Number 2 is do not eat dessert for breakfast. Now, I think it's super critical that we have breakfast, that we break our fast, especially during a time of the day where we are more metabolically flexible. We have a good chance to being in a thermogenic state. However, if we start our morning with coffee and sugar, a iced vanilla latte, fruit smoothie, muffin, croissant, breakfast cereal, any of those foods that are refined in carbohydrates, starches, and sugar, or dessert like a waffle for breakfast, we are going to spike our blood sugar. But what's really fascinating is because we've been fasting all night long, we are setting the tone for the rest of the day. So if we start our morning with sugar and refined carbs and it goes straight into the gut, into the bloodstream and spikes us, it may take up to 48 hours for us to recover. Even if you have metabolically flexible lunches and dinners planned, you'll probably still spike when it comes to your blood sugar because you have crazy variability, like it's all over the place and wonky from that morning latte. So just a heads up, be thinking about starting your morning with a savory breakfast. I'm talking about leftovers from the night before. Like my breakfast this morning was salmon and a big salad and a vinaigrette that I made from scratch. And I kept it super simple because it was all prepped the night before. I want to focus on healthy protein sources out the gate. healthy fiber sources, and healthy fats. And if you can get that trifecta, especially in the morning, like we just need to get away from breakfast foods and focus on foods that are going to fill us up and have us feel full throughout the day so that we are not spiking that blood sugar that's going to crash and wreck us for the rest of the day. You want to feel hangry, you want crazy cravings and lagging energy by 2:30 in the afternoon, have dessert for breakfast because it will set you up for the blood sugar roller coaster. This is probably one of my favorite hacks and one of the biggest mistakes that we are making as women. Now, mistake number 3. Make sure that you are snacking the right way. Similar to breakfast, so often, we lend to that vanilla latte, that frappuccino, the Reese's peanut butter cup to get us through that 2 to 4 p.m. crash. But exactly what we're doing there is we're going to bump up that blood sugar and it's going to crash and burn by like 4 p.m. It's barely going to get us through the rest of the workday, let alone get us to dinner where we're going to be so hangry, we're going to end up eating more refined carbs. It's ultimately what ends up happening. So when it comes to having a snack, if a snack is necessary, make sure that it is protein focused, fiber focused, and fat focused. And when we focus on protein and fats, most importantly, we are fueling our energy stores, we feel fuller longer, and we're able to kind of get over that hump. So if indeed you still want to put a little carb to it, be thinking about how to address those carbs with protein and fat. That's going to be the game change for you. But what I do recommend optimally is that you are eating 3 solid nutrient-dense meals, breakfast, lunch, and dinner with no snacks in between, because those meals were so nutrient-dense that you felt full all the way through that 3 to 4 hour gap between breakfast and lunch or lunch and dinner. What's important about maybe skipping snacks altogether, I'm just going to throw it out there, you can do whatever you love with it, is that we give our bodies the opportunity to rest from digestion. Digestion is a very energetic process. It requires a lot of effort to do it. And your cells and your mitochondria, your body, if it's constantly in breaking down food mode, it's not able to restore and replenish the way that it needs to. That's why I always recommend having dinner on the early side so you have a number of hours, at least 3 to 5 hours before bedtime, where your body doesn't have to focus on metabolism, doesn't have to focus on breaking down food. It can just focus on rest and restoration so that you feel great the next day. So that's something to think about when it comes to snacking. We do not want to have dessert for snacks. We don't want to have dessert for breakfast because, again, when carbs and sugar, dessert-like foods are on their own, it's just going to lead to a blood sugar roller coaster that's going to have us feeling, again, hangry, killer cravings, and low energy. So if we can just adopt one of these 3 at first, like the savory breakfast, or making sure that we are focused on nutrient-dense foods for dinner and not a ton of refined carbs, sugar, and alcohol. Take that walk after dinner. Oh my gosh, your body is going to flip into that metabolic flexibility, get into a thermogenic state. You're going to watch your energy soar. You're going to watch the weight come off, and you're just going to feel so much better. So I want to know, like, which one are you loving? Which one are you going to try first? Head on over to Instagram at Dr. Mariza. Let me know because I want to know what is working best for you.